All right, you ready?
Let's go.
Bring on episode 8 of the Vibecast, a podcast celebrating the 20-plus year history of the Philadelphia band Chico's Vibe. I'm John Parkinson, here as always with producer Matt Kelly. And Matt, at podcast time, as the song goes, April come she will. Hey, we're March 31st right now. And the good news is with April, springtime is in full force. Yes, spring is in the air. Spring is a time of awakening, new beginnings, romance, love, feasting, and sunshine. And yes, Matt, we have the guys once again, the guys who capture that feeling in music. The Delco deities of springtime. Dennis Dionysus Chiquino.
I love that. That's where my name comes from.
That's right, John Apollo Gebhardt. Why? The god of light and music. Yes, and Vulcan Eddie Mount. Vulcan was the god of fire.
That's right.
The Red Rocker. And heralding springtime, our first in-studio live guest, direct from Eastern University, from the Chico's Vibe horn section, Dr. Ed Jakuboski.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ed will be our featured guest, and we'll talk to Ed in a little bit more detail later. And we actually have a couple sponsors for Ed's in-house visit.
Yeah, you can go, Ed.
All right. Do you want to wait in the bathroom?
Yeah, just go in the bathroom.
Okay. Can I put the light on
It's
at
a
least?
shame people at home can't see the lab coat and the stethoscope. And, he's got it all. He's full
And
on
the
decked out
metronome
right
in his
now.
pocket.
I did 5 exams for my car to the front door here. It's great. People just coming up to
He
me.
keeps looking at his pager, I noticed.
Yeah.
He's actually grading exams as we sit here right now.
Fun fact for the month of April. I don't know if you've heard this, Dennis, but the town of Schnecksville,
Yeah.
the Ardmore of the Lehigh Valley, has declared April Dennis Chiquino birthday month for the month of April.
Get out of here. I didn't hear that.
Every day you'll get free pierogies, whatever you want, but you have to go to Schnecksville.
Do I have to go to
You
the
have to go up there.
fire company?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
go there
Julie,
and
I'll
wait.
meet you up there.
They're still working on the statue. They hope to have it done by the end of the month.
But
It's made of cheese.
I just want to bust, not the whole statue. You see.
so, thinking of birthdays, real quick. So we do, as Chico's Vibe, birthday ideas. We do 3 birthday songs. We do the traditional, right?
Yes.
We do the reggae,
Right.
and then we do the Eagles' birthday song.
Yeah.
Right.
When do we first off, I think if there's a way to trademark that, I think Chico's Vibe should, because we're the only people that do that. I think people
Yeah.
love it, right?
Nobody else does
When did
that.
we first think to do that?
I couldn't tell you when.
Yeah. I can probably say it might have been Matt Gallagher
Well,
playing when we said something
Somebody
about
said
his
happy birthday,
and Matt broke into the Eagles fight song.
Makes complete
Could
sense.
be. Could be.
you know, that's could be, but I actually think it was a Chico and Gebby gig. I swear I just have this like horrible thought in my head about people falling in front of us.
I have many horrible thoughts.
Well, the good news is we're going to talk a little bit about the,
right,
Chico,
right.
the bars in Chico's Vibe history.
Uh-oh.
So speaking of horrible
Oh,
memories,
jeez. All right.
but anyway, I digress. Go ahead. I interrupted.
Yeah, I don't know. What was I saying?
Talking
You're talking
about
about-
horrible memories with
Yeah,
birthday.
I
Oh,
think-
that's what I have in my head, that me and Gebby did it somewhere for somebody's birthday.
We might have.
That's because they don't want to split the money 9 ways.
Well, we also do birthday gigs, right? We
Right.
have that's one of our, if there's core Chico's Vibe gigs, that's maybe down further on the list. I don't know if we'll ever do. Do you have any memorable birthday gigs? The one that pops to my mind is a memorable birthday gig, and I don't remember the details. I just remember it being an interesting experience. It was the one, it was in Atlantic City, and it was super strange. But this isn't going to go anywhere, judging by Dennis's look.
Good story.
No,
Wait,
I
was
I
it in
remember
Atlantic
this
City or
because
was it in Ocean City?
it was in Ocean City?
It was in Ocean City.
It was
Oh,
at
okay.
what's the old hotel?
Oh,
There we go. Okay.
That was a great gig.
Jason was on that. Jason Long was on that gig because he
The
said that
I was
was.
trying to throw the meat, but I had the wrong piece of
He
meat.
said that was
What's
the
the name
first
of the
time he
chil-
ever saw me punch a wall.
Flanders, Haddon Hall.
Yeah,
What's it?
Flanders.
Yeah,
Flanders.
Yeah,
Flanders Hotel.
Because I remember
the guy that's paying you.
Yeah.
yeah.
We had to introduce her like the infamous.
Yes. We had to learn all these
Well, he
shows.
went
I
up to
remember
George
that.
and he goes, "Who are you?" And he goes, "People call me George." He just answered like that. And he goes, "Well, you with these guys? Well, I'm paying all of you.
Yeah, that guy.
I'm paying for this whole thing."
That guy was strange.
A guy
Yes.
was about 30 years older than the
wife.
birthday girl,
Who was not young.
no spring chicken.
Yes.
You know,
Remember, she paid no attention to him when he made his toast.
it's almost like if you took Mr. Howell from Gilligan's Island and left him in the microwave for like 6 or 7 minutes, and then he came out like shriveled up and burnt. That would be that guy.
Perfect.
Oh, that was
I'm
so
paying
funny.
for all this. He had like a piece of cheese on the side of his mouth.
No
It was like-
90s.
Yeah, right.
We hadn't played anything.
Kev, you were like, I think he was talking 1890s.
I forgot about that. He was like, no 90s. Like, we don't even play 90s tunes.
But I forgot to do our rundown. Well, first, do we have any more memorable birthday gigs we want to talk about? That kind of went off on that tangent there. But
Well,
think
I
that-
have my special favorite is my 50th,
50th, yes.
which was at the big club, and there was like
that was the best birthday,
1,000
best
people or
party
something.
I've ever been to.
But we had like 3 or 4 bands,
Ed
but Chico's
was on
Vibe
that.
plays first.
Dr. Ed
And
was
none
on
of our trumpet players showed up. Giroux or Gallagher. They sent Jakuboski. I had to pay him for the gig.
For your
My birthday. Gabby calls me like the next day. Oh, Dan, you think
This was actually a trap.
Jakuboski.
What
is
year?
a
What
trap.
year was that?
That was, geez, your 50th? So I was,
16 years ago.
16 years ago.
Because you were standing next to me, and we knew each other, but not that well yet. I'm talking to Dr.
Trumpet
Ed.
players
And-
didn't
So
show
yeah, it
up.
was early on.
Yeah,
of
and the
Chico's
dude
Vibe.
turns around and goes, "I fight all you."
Oh, that was the birthday.
That was the
gig?
one. He goes,
Yes,
"I'll fight
that was
all you."
dude.
And you turn to me and you go, "Why does he want to fight? I don't know this guy.
Yeah, that was dude.
Why does this guy want to fight?" It was so funny because you like rationalizing it. What? Why does this guy want to fight me? I haven't even met this guy.
Dominic's going,
Dominic would do very well. But dude was in that era of his life where he was uncontrollable. Like he would start drinking and that was it. And like he would just go up and grab the mic. I wasn't even there yet, I think, when he did that.
Well, he
I'll
actually
fight all you.
he grabbed me and I
No,
wanna
you were
s-
there because he did the speech.
I want to
where we
say
lived
I was
together.
kind of I kind of want to say I was lifted a little bit, and he's like, "Banio, he was like moving me around, and he's looking at Dom, he's going, "Banio, who's this guy? Who's this guy?" And then that's when he grabbed the mic and he said, "Chico, we lived together, we died together."
Oh, wait. The middle part. We lived together. We fought together. And we died together. I'm standing right in front of him like, all right.
Meanwhile, poor Ed is like maybe his 3rd gig with us, and this madness is going on.
Oh my
The doctor.
Ah, shit.
That had to be like when I first started. Like that couldn't have been too because when did I start in 04 or 05?
yeah, so it was
something
like
that.
06.
Yeah,
or
so it
something
wasn't.
like
So
that.
I was very confused, probably. Yeah, being there.
But just to give our audience a heads up for what's coming,
Yeah.
we're gonna finish the night with our song from the set list, and that was chosen by Brian Farr last gig. And it's gonna be "Africa" by Toto,
right.
and it's good we have Dr. Ed here because it's got the interesting usage of the trumpets, which
Yes.
I thought we talk about.
right.
We're also going to talk, and we do a segment, Chico's Vibe, the Netflix series, where we try to plan out an episode of our soon-to-be hit Netflix series. This one's going to be a little different because usually we talk about one memorable gig. What I'm thinking I want to do here is special episode Chico's Vibe Best of Brownies 23 East. So, so I'm relying
a lot
on you
of
guys.
stories.
Yeah. So I thought the actual episode would be take the best things from 23 East and make it one gig.
Right.
So any stories we think of, we can talk through. But getting there, I thought I actually tried.
I don't know about Netflix. I think maybe Tubi.
We could probably get Tubi.
Or
Probably
Peacock.
easier to get it on
Some
Tubi.
channel you don't have to pay for.
Crackle.
Yeah, it's free.
Come on.
Crackle.
We have connections. We're close personal friends with Tim Burton. Come on.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I could probably get us some connections with some UHF stations.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
We could post it on MySpace or something.
But getting to that point, I created a Letterman-like top 10 list. A rundown of the iconic Chico's Vibe bars that we've played over the years.
Yeah.
I'll run through the list, and then you guys can kind of comment on the placing or what I forgot, because as I demonstrated earlier this week, there are things I forget.
Right.
But first,
Starting off the list.
Wait, should we get a drum roll?
I'm going to try.
we're
How about
trumpet
fanfare?
Trumpet fanfare. Do you want to do your own trumpet fanfare? Our special guest from the Chico's Vibe trumpet section, Professor of Music at Eastern University, Dr. Ed Jakuboski.
Yes.
Our first in-house live studio guest. And Dr. Ed's visit, we have to pay to get people actually to come
That was
here.
a fanfare for myself. I've never done that before. That was fantastic. I'm going to do that at school.
Do you wanna do
for
more?
myself. Yeah, no, it's okay.
So we have a couple sponsors for Dr. Ed's visit. The first sponsor is Trumpet Doctors Without Borders. Yes. Offering humanitarian assistance throughout the world. Supply.
Without borders.
Wait, supplying
Great.
instruments to needy trumpet players while providing a safe haven to second and third hand trumpets, saving them from the indignity of being nailed to a wall above a dinner plate at Applebee's. Consider donating today. And also by Tony's Toilet and Trumpet Studio for all your trumpeter needs.
And I've been there. It's a very special place.
The first 10 customers of Tony's Toilet get access to Tony's complimentary wedding dessert buffet. All the best selections from
Oh, man.
Don't worry, it's in Tupperware
Fresh
containers.
out of his pocket.
It's in Tupperware containers.
It's only been in the warm
And
car for a few hours.
Each one is gig dated for freshness. It's all on
He's
there.
got fossilized desserts.
It's not handwritten. Remember those old label makers where you have to put the letter and then pull the trigger? He does it with those. They're all labeled with those.
You see this one over here? This is Crystal Tea Room, 1963.
Let me tell you, I got to tell you a quick story. We did a gig together with a band, obviously it wasn't with Chico's Vibe, with another band, and it was out in Lancaster somewhere. It was like for a big thing, I think at the auto auction, right? The Mannheim, whatever it is. And we played there one day. We played 2 days in a row. So the first day we get there, and there's this big buffet, and there's like, fried shrimp and all this stuff. And of course, Tony, like on the breaks, he's just like inhaling the shrimp,
Like a hamster
right?
with the big cheeks.
He's like inhaling the shrimp. And then the next day he shows up with takeout containers. And he had like another gig later in the day. I don't know, but he took it with him, and it literally sat in the car for most of the day. And then he ate it. And I was like, "You're going to eat that? Like that's been in the car for,
Oh, my God.
But yeah, there's many more stories like that. But that's one that really I vividly remember.
Ed is our special guest. We like to, the first thing we like to do with our guests is get them to talk about how you got started. You're from Scranton area, right?
Yes. It's a little town called Avoca,
Okay.
which is actually named after, there's a town, and apparently it's in Ireland, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a very Irish kind of section of the state where kind of like it is around here, very like neighborhood oriented as far as like people settling in certain places. So it's kind of right between Scranton and Wilkes-Barre.
Okay.
Like almost, but yeah, pretty much in the middle.
When did you pick up the trumpet, or did you play something first? And
No.
what inspired you to pick up the trumpet?
The interesting thing is my sister took piano lessons from like the age of 7, and I never was into it. I don't know why. It's kind of a weird thing, but I was always into the trumpet. It was really because of my dad, I guess. My dad played in, I think, elementary, junior high, and then he quit and played football. So that was my Italian grandmother, right? So his mom, and so from
Where did
the
he play
time
football?
for Pittston area.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, and this was back around the time of like Jimmy Cephalo.
Okay.
If you know that name,
Yeah.
yeah. So he knew Jimmy Cephalo, and they kind of like crossed paths a little bit, and it was around that time period. But anyway, but my grandmother would always be like, "Let me tell you right now, you are not playing football.
Oh,
You're going to play the trumpet," because she was so upset that my father quit playing the trumpet.
right.
She's like, "You're going to play the trumpet," and she must have told me 15 million times, and so there was an old trumpet laying around her house. They spent a lot of time there, growing up. They only lived, my grandparents, about 10 minutes from my parents, and there was an old trumpet, a lot of rubber bands and stuff on it that I would just kind of try to make sounds on and things like that.
What age?
Probably like 4 or 5.
What?
Okay.
Like just like picking it up and just trying, like being interested in it though.
Yeah.
And then
That's an actual
Yes.
recording.
Can you recreate the sounds?
but it wasn't till 10. Maybe I wasn't 5, but it was somewhere before I actually started formal lessons in school at around 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had a trumpet that was given to me by my father's, a distant cousin of mine, my father's cousin. That's what I kind of started on.
Did you know from that point that's what you wanted to do? Like, was it always sort of?
No, not
destiny?
necessarily. I mean, the one thing I liked to do when I was younger, I listened to a lot of records. Like my dad had this goes my Herb Alpert kind of obsession.
Yes.
I mean, I have every vinyl record that Herb Alpert ever recorded that were my dad's, and so I would just kind of be fascinated with listening to them. And just vinyl in general, because my grandmother had some old stuff and my dad's old records and all that kind of thing. And so that's probably my earliest influence. I don't think I really got into deciding I wanted to do music until probably middle school, like late middle school, early high school. Okay. I had a pretty influential band director who really pushed me to want to get better. And really, I think the sign of a good teacher is somebody who not only teaches you something, but makes you eager to like want to learn more about it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So sure. I think that was a really big part of it. And he kind of put me in really high pressure situations. Like, you're going to go out and play the Star Spangled Banner in the middle of the football field, like before the football games.
That's smart.
You're going to go play Star Spangled Banner for some of the basketball games and stand in the middle of the court and do it from memory. And or we have to go do this little gig. We have a little fundraiser. The school's doing a thing and I'm going to go play piano. Why don't you come and play? And he taught me how to transpose like cool. off of piano scores. And so I was doing things like that in high school,
right?
Which was really helpful, kind of guiding me on that path. So
sure.
Yeah.
And then did you come, you're a UArts guy or no?
I am. I did my master's there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where'd you do your undergrad?
Penn State.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah.
In like Happy Valley?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I actually started college at home. I went to Wilkes University for a year, which is a small school up in Wilkes-Barre.
Okay. So were you in the blue band?
No.
That's a very
yes, exactly right.
Okay.
No, I mean I did a lot of marching band in high school, and so by the time I got to college, I was done with it.
Yeah.
So you're not like a drum and bugle corps guy like a lot of trumpet players can be.
I checked. I was into it a little bit in high school, but I never got into it heavily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, so you didn't want to be like out there for the gigantic games like Penn State, Notre Dame?
I went to the games, but I'd rather drink and go to the game than and hang out all day. Whatever we did.
Did your teacher also teach you that high school? Drinking during...
No.
As he reaches for his glass of wine.
That's what he majored in.
That wasn't valve oil.
We could divert the story. Dennis, when did you become king of wine drinking in St. Dennis?
Growing up.
Communion wine.
4th grade, I think.
Yes.
Italian my grandfather made his own wine.
But
in the house where I lived.
Wow.
I mean, it was lighter fluidish,
Oh, yeah.
That's from young
I
age.
had the same thing. My grandfather did the same thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I never tasted a wine that was any good from any of those old times.
It was like 190 proof.
It was good for the heart and it got you drunk. So
Yes.
When did you come to UArts?
I was there in 2004, 2005. So that's about the time I met. Yeah, because of Mike Jaros. Really, because of Mike Jaros. Actually, and I kind of I met Mike, I guess, through Jay Webb. Because I started subbing for Jay Webb with this band, Steve Scher.
Oh, yeah.
This guy's drummer. I haven't seen him in years. I don't even know if he's still around in the area. But ironically, I was in that band with Carl Cox and Nick Rotundo.
Nick Rotundo. In the very beginning, right?
In the very So that's kind of how I got my start in like the wedding band scene in Philly.
Excellent. Okay. So do you going to UArts? I know you play a lot of classical. You play jazz, pop rock. Do you favor any style of music that you like? Seems like you teach a lot of classical, right? No, or no? I try to teach a little bit of everything. I mean, because I like to stay as well-rounded as I can. So, I mean, even at school, like I teach kind of, I mean, if you want to call it classically, I mean,
but I do teach jazz improv to a lot of students, regardless of their instrument, things like that. So I definitely try to stay in touch with kind of both sides of that.
Okay.
And it's always really been my plan. Always. I mean, I never really wanted to be like the guy that does this and not that.
Right. He doesn't want to be pigeonholed.
Right. I just never wanted to really be, labeled a certain kind of.
You ever have to holler at
Right.
students in class because they're talking or something?
Not as much as when I
You
taught.
know what?
Not as much as when I taught high school.
Yeah. I think if you might want to be a teacher just so you could do that.
Oh, shut up! Love that.
Come in, slam the door.
Sit down. Yeah. Did you hear me?
Oh man.
Let's go.
When was your first pop rock band experience? Was it coming to Philly, or did you could play in college?
I did a little bit in college, and I did a little bit with some bands like that up in the Scranton area.
Okay.
Because when I was at Penn State, I'd still come home a little bit and do some work, and then I ended up doing most of that stuff maybe out there. But I really got on the scene when I came here. I really didn't know what a cover band was necessarily until I came here, and there's just a million of them. It's not really like that in other parts of the state.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Here's a odd random question: how many Rolling Stones concerts have you been to?
Oh man! Well, my wife will be really happy that we're talking about
Okay,
this.
yes.
So I lost count. She can probably give you an exact number. I mean, I think it's over 20.
Okay, I thought it was going to be more.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's
since
going
I've
to be
known you,
like
you've
Ray
been to 20.
Heslop with 386.
I don't know. I mean, she keeps track of all the stats, I mean, she's funny. In fact, the other day, Mick had posted something, I think on Instagram, and he was like, he's playing his guitar, and he's like, why don't you, request a song you want to hear on the tour? I can't do a British accent well, so I'm not even going to try. So, and there were 300, there were 300 people who were writing I want to hear this. And then Jenny gets on there and she's like, these are all songs that I've heard before, and you're not saying, telling people. And she's like, you should do this, this, and this, her favorite songs. And later in the day, he had loved it.
No way.
So she was screaming, with excitement. It was but I mean, it was awesome. But she was just he read it, and it's so awesome. So she was just screaming, she was so excited. It was Mick.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is kind of cool. I mean, it's and I said to her, it's kind of cool that those guys are 80 and they're so into social media, and they don't rely on people to do it for them.
They do it
they're doing it
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
It's amazing that Keith Richards is.
They're pretty incredible. I mean, having seen them
Alive.
so many times,
Yeah.
they really still do a pretty energetic show for being as old as they are.
Right.
It's pretty amazing, really.
Wow.
And now, of course,
puts the pressure on us
Also,
as we get older.
Mick
I
Jagger's
don't wanna
waist
move.
is 26 inches.
I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true too.
Yeah.
So
But he's
the pressure's on you, Chico. So you got to keep performing so that you stay.
I think Mick's got a 5-year-old though,
Yes!
or something too. That's the other thing.
Oh, dear God.
What your dad's thinking was though about I'm guessing the name's Polish, right? Or is it
My last name? Yeah, Polish, yeah.
moving into an Irish?
Well, the where I grew up was actually where my mom grew up. It was actually on the same street where she lived most of her high school
Oh
years.
wow, that's cool.
She's Scottish on that side.
That's right. Wait,
Yeah.
our podcast listeners cannot see the tattoo, right? You got the Scottish
Yeah,
tattoo.
I
on
do.
you.
I have it on my left leg. I have a Scottish lion. Yeah.
It says
That
if it's not
Jakuboski
Scottish, it's
of-
crap.
Yes.
I recently did the ancestry thing too. I mean, so I'm mostly Polish and mostly Scottish with little bits of some other things, but that's the two main.
You got any Italian in there?
Well, that's the other thing is my grandmother, who I said was Italian for her whole. I mean, they all thought they were Italian until everybody in the family started doing this DNA thing, and it turns out we're mostly Albanian.
Oh wow.
But they had come
Albania.
through. They had come through southern Italy on the way here.
You
And everybody
border
keeps telling me
on
you don't want to go
the
there.
Adriatic.
Albania is not a nice place or whatever. So.
It was all part of Roman Empire. So
Right.
it's Italian. Everything Italian.
So wait, do you have two things: a favorite Rolling Stones song, not to put pressure on it, and then a Rolling. So at the end of the night, we'll do a song. So you can answer now or later. We'll do a song that we would all like to do in the band. Maybe something we heard this past week or this month that we may not ever do, but we'd
Yeah.
like to do. So I wonder, what Rolling Stones song you would like to do in the band. So there's a 2-part question you can answer however you want. Favorite Rolling Stones songs, and then a horn Rolling Stones song you'd like to do.
Favorite Rolling Stones songs. I mean, one of the horn songs I really like is Heartbreaker.
Oh.
Yep, that's a good. It's just Oh, I
Wait,
I'm just telling you that
somebody's supposed to say trash.
that's a horn. That's just a horn tune that I like of their horn tunes.
Pick like "Live with Me" or something, that kicks ass.
Yeah.
Well, this is Ed's segment. This isn't Chico's segment.
And I'm not like the heavy. I mean, we have to. I always have to. My wife is really the Stones fan. So. I mean, I'm a fan too, obviously, by the fact that I, have listened to a million.
Still married,
yeah.
Hey, we played your wedding, didn't we?
No, I got married in Vegas.
Start arguing with him. No, we played at your wedding. Your first dance.
You knew me when I got married. I was playing with the band when I got married.
Tiny Bubbles.
I was playing with the band here and there then, but
you played at Matt's wedding.
Yes.
Don't tell me you didn't, because I know you played for him.
Yes, I know I did. I did that, yes. Boy, I should have just called from home. Maybe I wouldn't have gotten yelled at so much.
Yeah. You're not getting yelled at.
Why don't you move over my side?
I'm just telling you something.
I remember when you first started the sub, you hated the idea of dancing with the band.
God.
Well,
So funny.
I was.
And then we played somebody's wedding, and Ed was a guest. And there's Ed, like,
Oh, that was Nick Ciardelli's
yes!
wedding. Yeah.
Hey, wait a minute, he dances.
But I was also drinking, and things. Yeah. So.
Give a Chico's Vibe song that you like to play.
So you're saying, like, when I show up at the gig and I see the set list, I'm like, oh, I'm so glad that's there. I don't know.
I don't think that ever happens.
I don't know.
It's almost like
that
there's a
never
little
happens
glow
for me.
around the text.
I actually
There has to be one where
I
you're
actually like playing Soul Man.
oh, really?
I do. I think that
I like 25 years ago. I did.
But I mean, as far as charts that I like to, I don't know.
We don't do it that much.
I've been wanting one of you guys to play La Vie en Rose for a long time. Nicky used to do it.
Well,
you
I
guys
could do
just
it.
dropped the ball.
Well, then we don't.
I'll do it.
You like Green Eyes and
Bad
Bad Leroy Brown and Love Shack.
You know my Love Shack. In fact, Love Shack. You all know is my favorite. Right?
Oh wait, I thought Love Train was. Because
No, I
the
could
look
do-
on your
Love Train's
face when
okay.
Love Train starts.
Well, because usually I would anticipate a Tony DeSantis catastrophe, and so Love Train would just be like, "What's he going to do tonight?" Until of course it was Chico took care of that for all of us. He sacrificed for all of us. Thank you for that.
What's a catastrophe going to be tonight?
It's like
Didn't he go to the Lanark afterward and just stare into a cup of coffee for 6 hours by himself? They're like, "Hey, we gotta close up." And he just looked up at him, went to the bathroom, started playing trumpet.
Was that the night that he got yelled at?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Yeah. He was just so depressed.
I can see it in my head, like the car's just going.
Give me the
by,
right side of the menu.
Lights getting dimmer, and he's just staring into his coffee. You have somebody who can take you home? I just looked up.
Wow, Tony, you didn't
back
get a
down.
lot. You didn't order a lot tonight. It's
don't
because
know.
I got all these hors d'oeuvres. Hold on.
What did he say? All he said was, "I don't understand the concept of the love thing." Then looked back down into his coffee again.
The waiter went, "You son of a bitch."
And I don't think I was on that gig where that was on. I don't think I was.
But
when
all that
happened.
dialogue was in French at the
Yeah, right.
And it was black and white.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. Who was the other?
Well, you were in the band before Tony. weren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might have been Nick. No, it couldn't have been Nick if it was Tony.
Tony, because Tony was subbing.
I wonder who it was.
I have to say that this is my favorite version of Chico's Vibe trumpets because they behave. They play the charts. They take things seriously. They
Right.
get there on time.
And I've kind of been there through it all too. I'm like the constant. I'm like the constant.
That's a great
Everything
compliment there,
rotating.
Dr. Ed.
Yeah.
From Parky.
How many years, Ed Mount, have I said that I didn't like trumpet players?
Oh yeah, and I always felt like that the broker,
The buffer.
the broker of peace, And then and the funny thing is, I got to know what got on your nerves. So I'd start to see a specific behavior, and I'm like, that's a trigger. That's a trigger. My right eye would see the trigger.
Yeah.
The left eye would be looking. You hadn't quite caught on yet. Maybe you're doing a background vocal, and then you turn, and the vein appears on the side of
would
his
start
head.
to throb.
And then,
We would know.
yeah.
And then Ed leans
I
over
don't
and
want to
goes,
say
"Tell
who
Tony
was
to
on the gig,
tell
but
Tony to put
it
the
was a
sticks
section.
away.
It was a
Tell
section.
Tony to put the sticks away. Tell him to put the sticks away. Parky's gonna lose it. He's had enough."
I love the way Parky said they're my favorites because they're well behaved.
They're great. Wait, and another thing. So we're talking about Africa tonight. First two trumpeters that ever play it right together are these guys.
Oh, these two guys?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh,
Everybody
it's
else.
such an easy part. Whatever.
Not for the. That's really
It's actually a hard
to play
key.
Oh, that's
it
hard.
together in harmony.
it's a
D
very-
flat
it's in
for
five
us.
sharps.
Yeah, 5 flats.
Or
Yeah,
five
yeah,
flats.
yeah.
Yeah.
However you want to look at it.
Yeah.
Other than Herb Alpert, what are your trumpet influences? Who are your
Well,
favorites?
I mean, I was Maynard Ferguson. I mean,
they all say Maynard.
Well, I mean, since I was in middle school, I mean, really, but I was also into Miles Davis from a fairly young age. Chet Baker's a favorite of mine.
Oh, I love Chet Baker. Yeah.
Wait, I got a question for you on the Maynard thing. Cherry Pink and Apple Blossom, right? The old
Pres Prado.
Pres Prado.
Yeah.
There's all this, if you listen, there's this screaming trumpet. And what I've heard is that's a young Maynard Ferguson playing.
I'm actually not
Like
sure about
playing
that.
playing like double C's, double G's, like way up high. Just in the background. It's not
Right.
prominent. It's in the background. And I've heard, maybe through Matt Gallagher, that is like a young, like
Maynard.
either
Cool.
teenage or 20-year-old Maynard Ferguson.
I believe it. I mean, he was ridiculous when he was younger.
Yeah.
There's stories of him actually like bleeding, like, I mean, playing so hard that he would be like bleeding at the end of gigs.
From his lips.
Yeah.
No dizzy in there.
A little bit. I wasn't as big of a fan. I don't know why. I mean, just who I gravitated towards, I guess. But
Gotcha.
yeah.
So go ahead. I didn't mean to interject. But
No, that was good. Any final trumpet? The trumpet community is an interesting community, and you're I think deep in it.
It is.
It's a gated community, a locked.
It is a locked community.
from the inside.
It's a brotherhood.
Not quite as
Yeah,
big
yeah.
as the trombone community, but
I don't even know if there is a trombone community. I'm not in it.
well, we're going to start it, John.
Okay.
I think really the trumpet community is more of like a shared sense of like collective misery most of the time. No, I mean that in a good way. That it's just a really, I mean, it's a difficult. I mean, I think we as trumpet players we can all relate
That's
to like
true.
how much work goes into being able to play
Yeah.
consistently well, and it's really easy to nerd out on a lot of because it's like it's like a.
How many mouthpieces do you?
I have a
own?
lot.
Okay.
I have a lot. In fact, I was thinking recently I probably need to sell some of them because like you just most of them you buy them and you play them once and you're like, yeah, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And it's like, but they're not. And of course, it's like $150
You
later.
kind
and
of
you're
hope
like,
it's going to take it to the next level, and
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what's your preferred size mouthpiece?
I've played kind of the same size for a long time. It's pretty much the equivalent of a 1 1/4 C.
Okay. Is that like
Dennis just
So
fell
it's
asleep.
is that a shallow cup?
No,
or
it's fairly big. It's like an orchestral size.
You get a big sound.
But when I play with the band, I play with a much smaller mouthpiece, just because
right.
if I played on that,
sound,
I would just be exhausted after
Oh yeah.
Oh,
10 minutes. So I play a much smaller
no
one. but
kidding.
Most people do.
I mean, I have no idea about trumpet players,
Yeah.
but because it's a bigger hole, you're blowing more air, you get more tired. Is
Yeah, well, it's the bigger cup size, really, is what it
We
is.
all
Yeah.
like the
So your
bigger
lips
cup
just like
size.
more
that-
volume.
we all like that.
So
Is
more
the
lip in
shallow,
them. Yeah.
Is the shallower for hitting up higher
Mhm.
register?
Higher,
yeah.
Yeah, so like big band screamer
Yeah.
stuff. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Because there's really just less lip in the mouthpiece then, so it's less to vibrate. So it's easier to get the higher vibration.
I always like the medium cup, but you know.
I'm
It's always
kind
a good to stay middle of the road,
I'm kind of in a D cup now myself.
Hey, just to let our podcast listeners know, Ed is the he's the primary trumpet player at the Basilica St. Peter,
Yeah.
Peter and
Yes.
Paul. If you're,
Wait a minute.
you didn't know this?
In Rome?
Yes,
Talking about?
at the
Yeah,
Vatican.
I'm leaving tomorrow
Yes, he's
morning
got
to
to
go
go
back.
tomorrow
Yeah.
morning for the Pope.
He's got to
What
go.
the thing's
Oh,
called
in
Philadelphia.
Yeah, in
That's
Philly.
the name of that cathedral.
The Pope's saying novena.
Yes.
So
How long
he's
have
got to
you been?
leave.
You've been Catholic your whole life.
I know, but I mean,
It's the Cathedral
same thing
Basilica
in
of
Rome,
St.
right?
Peter and
See
Paul.
that
St.
all
Peter
white
and
cell
Paul,
phone
right.
he has when that goes off. that's when the Pope has a direct line. I need trumpet.
You should have agreed with me when I said Rome, and people
Well, I
were
said
like,
I'm leaving
wow.
tomorrow morning. Yeah.
did.
I stand here, no fanfare.
No, that's very cool.
There's no
Absolutely.
fanfare. I just
It's a
stand
good.
here.
It's a good gig.
Just standing here waiting for my
Where's
turn.
to meet the Pope?
Where's the
I did not.
Jakuboski? Where's the Jakuboski? He's supposed to
Jakuboski.
bring me
Where's
out
the
of my room.
Where's the Albanian friend to play fanfare?
Then Tony shows up. This is not what I want.
Jeez. No. The buffet is in the other room. No.
Then you see both Tony and the Pope at the Lanark staring into a cup of coffee. He's no fanfare.
So you're
I don't
telling
under-
me he said you know the love train? I don't understand it.
All right, get out of here with your piece of pie.
Oh my God.
Don't forget the Tupperware.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, maybe that's what Tony does after gigs. Because he goes to Rome. He's like, "Did you get me my hors d'oeuvres, Tony? Did you
We
bring
got the
me?"
cannoli tonight.
Bless you, Big T.
Francesco's.
And your
Okay.
friend Yadush just came for the mileage award.
He came to buy. He wants to buy the Vatican.
He say, I like at the statues. I like at the paintings. I buy the place and rent it out.
Oh my God.
It's a nice summer home.
I think you should move La Pieta to the other room. What do you think?
Okay.
Oh my
Michelangelo
God.
was a bum.
Off the
Anyway, yeah, we're off the rails. But yeah, any final thoughts, Dr. Ed? I mean, how much you
man,
love
I'm
Chico's
exhausted.
vibe?
That's
Yes.
No, I mean, I love playing in Chico's vibe. Really, I mean, it's been. I mean, you guys again were like some of the first people I met, having not grown up here.
Oh, right.
You know,
Oh,
so
cool.
really, I mean, you guys are really family to me. I mean, you know, and I
thank
feel
you.
like that's the nice thing.
Very much, Doctor.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, here's
Absolutely.
what I'm going to say that is a compliment to you. Like, when I first met you, you were sort of like a Matt Gallagher disciple. You know, Matt would bring in all these.
Which we don't know if
Actually,
it's a compliment
that
or
is-
not.
No, wait a minute. I'm not finished my statement yet.
First he insults you.
I was
Then he-
just I was just the voice of the narrator
As
above
the
your
Pope
statement.
would say,
Yeah.
Madonna me. All right, so you have jumped over him. You're a doctor of mute. What's your official degree?
a doctor of musical arts.
Doctor of musical arts. You teach at a college. Matt's just like this stay-at-home dad now. You know, he's every now and
Banished
then
to
he'll
the
come out
basement.
to play a gig with us.
Yo, Matt, he's trashing
just so we
you
can hit a
like
couple
right
high
now.
notes.
He's got 18 kids.
He's saying,
Yeah, you've done wonderful for yourself. I'm happy for you. You and your wife, whose wedding we did play, folks.
Tennis dressed as Elvis for the Vegas one. Yeah. We're gonna do another Chico's Vibe, the Netflix or Tubi series. I think we should shoot high for Netflix.
hit them all.
Yeah.
Netflix, Hulu, Amazon, Disney Plus, Peacock,
Apple
Paramount
Plus.
Plus.
Apple Plus,
you go.
Apple Minus, Orange Plus, Banana Plus, all of them.
Chico's Vibe, the Orange Minus series.
Apple minus.
That weird button that's in Chinese that you don't even understand. We're on that.
Anyway, so we're gonna talk, which I thought would be, because I think I'll give you a little spoiler alert. If I did a top 10 countdown of my list of like the notorious, even though we haven't played there since 2013,
Yeah.
top of my list of notorious Chico's Vibe bars would be the Brownies 23 East. So that's what the Netflix series in my mind is going to be.
Okay.
But we've played a lot of bars over the years,
Sure.
and I've more than 10 bars. So, but I've written a top 10 countdown and not making the list in the top 10 countdown.
Not making.
Not making the list.
Okay.
If you remember playing the Springfield Inn.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Whoa.
That's
man.
where we met Hall and Oates.
What?
Oates.
Just Oates.
Just
of Hall
Oates
and
from Hall and
They're
Oates
the
was
same
there.
people that come out to see us on
Yes.
Thanksgiving Eve.
Springfield Country Club.
Yeah. But that place, you could smell the cigarette smoke from like 25 years ago. I mean, the carpets were sticky. But
Oh my God, I remember.
I also
that
didn't
place.
put Anthony's on the list, but that's a personal.
Nah, it's not making a top 10 list.
Not making the top 10 list. All right, so number 10 on the top 10 list, only because they're new,
Give me a drum roll, good.
is the Orr House in Sea Isle City. That's number 10.
Okay.
I think it's got a lot of potential to move up
Yes.
the list, but
Yeah.
last year was our first year. Number 9, this could be controversial. J.D. Ralston's. Do you remember that?
Oh my God, yes.
Oh, right.
That was in Paoli.
No, J.D. Ralston was just
It
like
was in Morton.
Oh, it was in Delaware County.
Yeah, we played there a few times.
Like
and,
twice. Maybe.
Yes,
Yeah.
Like Ridley. Wait a minute. Wasn't that like,
Was
like
Morton.
the owner had
Morton.
to come up and sing?
Yes, it was Morton, PA.
oh, wait a minute. I forgot one that didn't make the list. Harrah's in Chester Casino.
Oh,
Do you remember
I
playing
forgot
that?
about that. You were playing in like the kitchen or
Yeah,
something.
we played for like 5 hours
Yeah, the
straight.
load-in
Yes!
was like a mile long
Oh,
through
yeah.
the dregs of the basement to get to the
Stroitska.
loading dock.
Stroitska.
And then it pushed through the casino.
Yes! Yes, at the end of the night, it's like
It's
2:30, and you see all these 75-year-olds at the slot machines.
I was in
Pushing
the
my
service-
gear
I
across
was
the
in-
carpet floor.
I was in the service elevator with this guy,
Stroitska.
and he looks at me. He goes, "Yes, for Stroitska," and it's just me and this guy. And I, of course, like an idiot, I don't understand. I'm sorry, I don't understand. He's like, "For Stroitska." I said, "Yes." Yeah. He's like, for Stroitska. And I'm just like, oh my God. And the elevator's still going, and I'm just waiting. So I told Dennis that night. I'm like, there's this guy just for Stroitska. And you
We
said it
still
to me
do it.
one time. I was talking to you,
Stroitska.
yeah. What is it? For Stroitska.
Number 8. See if you remember this one. The rocking chair.
Oh, yeah.
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 Place used to get packed.
Packed.
Yes.
And we were on the second floor.
yeah.
Second
That's
And
where
that was
you
in
guys
Avalon.
played Boris the
Yep.
Spider, and Gallagher goes, "What the f is going on?"
Oh, I have to note. So this list doesn't include like bars. Like we've played a bar in the Bahamas,
Right.
but that seems like a separate. That's a separate
That's-
Netflix episode.
yes,
The Bahamas.
yes.
Oh, right, yeah.
That'd be like the Brady's when they went to Hawaii. with
Yes!
the tattoo statue. That was a two-parter. That would have to be the
It doesn't
two-parter.
include any cruise ship bars. I don't know if we
Right,
played them.
gotcha.
Maybe we could get Vincent Price the star.
Number 7, the Windrift in
yeah.
Stone Harbor. We had some good gigs there. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah, many gigs.
yeah.
I liked it downstairs, not the
Yes, I
upstairs.
completely
Yeah.
agree.
I agree.
Number
The
6.
I don't mind upstairs. That stage is a little small. for
Yeah,
us,
too.
but,
Yeah.
The way it's angled.
Load-in's a bear.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
but you know why I like it? Especially for dinner, because the crowd's way back
Well,
there. We're up here. There's not going to be any problem with volume, nothing like that.
One time it was a gig after the Windrift, and I think I said to Ed, Dr. Ed, I was like, I'm not sure what I'm listening to on the way home. And he goes, you know what I'm going to listen to? I'm like, what? He goes, dead silence.
Yeah, so me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
And then I've been doing that ever since, and it's,
Right?
it's rewarding.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It just cleanses. It's like a cleanse. It's
Ears
beautiful.
ringing like
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 6, Cabanas in Cape May. we had some really good
Bananas.
Yeah.
Good Cabanas gig. Number 5, I couldn't remember the name of this. I had to ask Gabby. Maddie's in Fraser.
Oh, yeah, Maddie's.
We had some great gigs.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
place.
That was a
It's a
great
big room.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I'm gonna give you a heart attack, and then she fell on stage.
Oh
That's
my
where that-
God, I
that's
forgot about
story.
that.
We'll
I wouldn't remember
come back
that.
to that later. If you
Yeah.
Who did she say that to? Matt? Who would the hell?
She there was this girl dancing very suggestive in front of the horn
Oh,
section
I
at
remember
Maddie's.
this. Yes.
And it's me, it's Gallagher, and I think it was Jaros back then.
Probably.
And the girl gets up on stage, and we're all like, "Uh-oh." And I said, go back to the bass player. And she goes, "Why?" I said, "Yeah." And you know,
loves it.
Dom's up on a riser, so he's
Yes.
like behind plexiglass. He's like in a fortress. You know?
Yes.
And then I say, "Go back to the bass player." Why? I said, "You're going to give him a heart attack." She goes, "I'll give you a heart attack." And then I see
you
her.
did that in like a slow motion voice.
So then she leaves my line of sight, and I hear these two falls. It sounded like a grand piano at the top of the stairs, then part of the fall when it's halfway down the stairs, and then when it finally reaches the. And I turn, and this girl is face down at the feet of
she
our
went
bass
straight
player.
face down. Well, that's what I was going to say. That was one of the places where the horn section aggressively pulled girls up on stage.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are we up to? 5, 4?
That was number 5. Number 4, Casey's and Drexel Hill. Come
boy.
on, we had some fun gigs
Yes,
there.
there were some
I always
fun
had a
gigs.
good time
We had
there.
some super bizarre,
Wait a minute,
surreal
that
Delco gigs.
place
that
would
was-
get so friggin' packed.
yes.
Yeah.
One girl comes up to me before we started. I'm sitting over there. I think Monica, her son, somebody else. Here she comes. Hey, Dennis, we need more chairs over there. So, all right, we'll go get them. And she just stood there like, "You're not gonna get them? It's not a work here. Go ask one of the waiters to get you some chairs and bartender." Frig out.
Yeah, we did you just cut us off from Casey's, or did they cut us off, Ed?
I think
Or
it
did
just
we
kinda-
just a couple more times, but that's a hard gig.
It is a hard gig.
gotta
It
admit, it's a
is. It
hard
really
friggin'
is.
gig,
We
man.
said before, bars are our hardest gigs.
Yeah, and that one is especially hard.
Number 3, this could be a controversial placing. Keenan's Irish Pub.
We had some
Good
fun
years,
times.
did some-
you know.
Yes, we had some good
years.
Yeah,
Good years there.
we did. We played there. How many years? 10, 12?
Love the
More than
bartenders
that.
there.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
what's his name?
Notre Dame Harv.
Notre Dame
Dame
Harv.
Harv,
Then
yeah.
our last few years, he must have retired. Notre Dame
Yeah,
Harv,
but I think
Yeah,
he's
he did.
back this year because he asked me if we're playing there. He sent me a message.
And then
said,
there's the infamous loss of a gig.
He was a good
due to
guy.
Tiffany at
Yeah.
Keenan's.
Tiffany, who I still like. Oh, God.
Number 2 on the top 10 list, PJ Henry / Cantino Diablo.
Tina Diablo.
Wow.
We had some iconic gigs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Monica.
The Monica
fly
Fall.
up. And I don't
Yeah,
want
so
to
many
mention
good-
you again, honey.
So many good. It was day after Thanksgiving gigs. We would
Yes.
play there.
Next month, we're going to be back there again.
All right.
But it's
yes, we
McSorley's.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
So that gets us up to number 1. What did I miss? There's bars that we played that I missed. That
Wow.
The deck.
the things.
The rusty
The
nail.
deck.
Wait, the deck.
Yeah, that was the one that used to be the Lagoon. We played there.
how did I
the
forget
reason,
that?
Played
the
like
reason
twice.
this
Right on
sticks
the
out
Delaware.
is because
Down in Essington.
I
I know
saw
it,
a woman throw
Oh,
up
yeah,
on
yeah.
Matt.
Yes.
It hit Matt's chest and then hit D-Val. Like it ricocheted off him. And I gotta say something about Matt. Matt is always like kind to himself, like in between sets, you know.
Yes.
You know, he like gets off in his corner and so he goes, "I break protocol one time." He says, "I go over and I hug her and I say, 'How you doing?' And she sits on my knee and turns into me and goes,
Remember that. That's
Just
right.
break protocol one time."
Oh my god.
And people were mean in the parking lot too. Like when
Yes,
I was-
that's
you know
why
what
I remember somebody yelling at me in the parking lot.
I do remember that,
F
too.
you, John Parkinson.
Oh, yes.
I have to say, I mean, this wasn't a Chico's Vibe thing, but Woody's was
Oh
a
my
memorable
God, yeah,
bar
that was
gig.
a whole- well,
Come on
yeah.
now.
Yeah, it was-
So that's why I didn't include Rusty Nail because did we?
Yeah,
Did we?
I
ever
don't-
do
Yes,
Rusty
we
Nail?
did. We
2
did.
times.
We did.
We played the nail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did. That was
my-
early
In
on.
my
Early
mind, that's
on.
Hoey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
Early on.
it's
Now I would
always
play
been-
with Hoey,
Well,
but
Woody's was an amazing gig.
Yeah.
It was memorable.
I could have played at Woody's every week. I would have loved it.
That's-
Great
it just had
dinner.
such
It was
fantastic-
clean. It was
yes, they
good
fed
sound.
us well.
Tony could bring his Tupperware. He could load up on the food. You know what I mean?
But I remember the night we played there. I don't know if it was I think we only did one.
We
Yeah,
only
only
did one.
one.
Yeah.
They wanted us every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Swing-
I
it was swing
remember
night.
leaving and there's eggs being thrown everywhere, coming from the hotel or from the apartment building across the street.
Yeah. Disappointing.
Oh, was it Mischief
People's
Night?
behavior.
That was Mischief Night. In
No,
Philly.
I don't think it was Mischief Night.
The other good one we used to do down there was a 5-spot.
Yes, that was Hoey.
So
though.
like that.
That
gig.
was Hoey.
That was when swing was.
Yeah, well, they're both Hoey gigs.
Yeah. That was fantastic.
Our site.
But
Now,
anyway,
Yes.
yeah, the Rusty Nail, a couple gigs, uneventful. Now we'll move on to the top.
We could, or you could keep talking about the nail if you want.
Okay, no, I don't want to
So no,
talk about
Chico's
the
Vibe, the
Nail.
Netflix series. Well, we can combine all our bar gigs into this one.
What else?
Keep going.
Other
There's
bars.
there's other bars. There's bars we've played on. It was on Route 30. I can't
can't-
remember the name. We had a couple good gigs, and then they closed it down.
What place?
Oh yeah.
It was like the American.
oh, there was the place in Villanova, Kicks.
yes, yeah.
I think it was called Kicks or Mix. It was like
Oh,
an
yeah,
Asian
behind,
couple that ran it, that owned it.
Where it used to be the roller skating.
Yeah,
rink
it used to be
area.
Radnor Rolls, and it was a diner. Then it
played a bunch
became.
of times.
We played like two
I
or
would
three
love
times.
If we played a skating hall. That'd be awesome. Seriously,
would
the
be
island in the middle, and we just play a gig. And
I just thought of something when you
and
said
if a song is a
mix.
sweeper, you can really come out in the Zamboni and just clear the floor.
Not to divert to Hoey gigs, but that's how we met Joe Frazier. We were playing at the
Yes.
stadium, and they put us in the middle of the ice. Do you remember that?
on
That was the weird.
on a quarter-inch piece of plywood, right on the ice.
It was raining out that day.
I swear to God, and we're wearing dress clothes.
Yes.
I had like dress shoes on. My feet were a couple of ice blocks.
So, Gab, did you play your guitar like you were skating around,
Just on skates.
And that
checking
was
people?
and that was when we had to play a number with Cozy Morley,
Oh my
Do you
God.
remember
that's
that?
right. On the way to Cape
and his
May.
clarinet froze up because it was so cold. He had a clarinet. Anyway,
It was funny though. He did a routine, a
Yeah.
comedy routine.
Yeah.
There was about 6 people. In
Yes, it was the weirdest thing. And then Joe Frazier shows up and sings with us.
Well, no,
we went up and met him.
I knew he was there.
Okay.
Because it was like, I was living in Hafford Township, and they said Joe Frazier, Master of Ceremonies, like Smoking Joe, Master of Ceremonies.
Yeah, that's right. He was.
And
Yeah.
Aaron was involved in that.
Aaron Cohen.
Haverford
Aaron
Township,
Cohen.
and we
I
knew
just
Aaron
saw him.
very well. We're up there doing the gig. I said, Aaron, Joe Frazier's here, right? He said, yeah, he was in the parade. I said, well, is he still here? He goes, yeah, he's here. I said, well, go ask him, tell him to come on down and sing a couple songs with the band. Because he used to have a band when he was champ called Joe Frazier and the Knockouts.
Yeah.
He goes,
You ever see the light Miller Light commercial? It's
yeah,
really
I
good.
love that.
Yes.
Anyway, Aaron said, well, he's upstairs in the suite. So Aaron goes up. And, like Aaron, 25 minutes later, he comes down with the answer. He's on his phone the whole time telling you to wait. And he said, well, Joe said he doesn't know you guys, man. And he doesn't want to come down and sing with you because he's thinking about putting his band back together. I'm like, oh, Christ. I said, well, go up and tell him that I'll come up and practice a song with him. And he could go over.
Yeah.
Here it is, 25. That's an hour
Yeah,
we're into
me
this.
and him went up.
Wow. Okay.
So Aaron comes down, and he said, all right, Joe said, okay. I said, all right, Gabby, let's go.
Yeah.
Me and
him
I'm not
went
going
up.
up without him. So I grab my acoustic. We go up, and I had never been upstairs in the stadium before.
It was the office.
Okay.
The main
Well, they
office
have
of the stadium.
offices, but then they have this beautiful living room and kind of
Jeez, really?
fireplace going, lounge chairs, sofas. So, Aaron walks up. He goes, he's in there. So me and Gabby go walking in, and we see this other younger guy sitting over there in a chair.
Was that Love or did
That was
Love?
love.
Yeah, and I
Wow.
said,
His
hey,
bodyguard.
are you Marvis? And he said, oh, no, I'm Love. I'm the champ's bodyguard. I'm Love. I said, oh, hey, Love, how you doing? Joe Frazier wanted us to come up and practice a couple songs with him. So he says, oh, there's a champ right there, passed out on a sofa.
Sound asleep.
Like I would be, shoes off, hats off. Love walks over, taps him on the head. And I got my guitar over my shoulder, ready to play. Me and Gabby are standing right above him. And I'm going, Jesus, there's Joe Frazier right there.
yeah.
Sound
This guy
asleep.
beat Muhammad Ali,
Yeah.
and Love's tapping him. Champ, yo, champ, Chin, what? Looks up at him, and then he sees my guitar. He goes, "You gonna play some songs for me?" And he said, "We gonna sing." Joe, we gonna sing. Yeah, you gonna sing? That's what it was. Oh, I don't know what we did up there. We went over Mustang Sally probably, and he came down, did the songs with us. You love Big Paul. Wait, we were in Howie then. He loved Big Paul.
Yeah.
Afterwards, lots of the people that were upstairs went over to the lamplighter.
Lamplighter, because I remember walking in the lamplighter.
Yeah, we went over. Joe gets his table in the back. It's packed over there.
Well, just dumb. I remember walking in because Joe went in first, and
Yeah.
the crowd's like, "Joe Fraser," and then Chico goes in second, and he's like a celebrity. Yeah, and
Chico!
And then I'm in third, and the noise volume went.
He went to that very back table, in the back fireplace room in the corner, and me and Gabby are like right with him, like we're in his entourage now.
Yes.
So we're sitting down at a table, Smokes in the corner seat, me, Love, Gabbs, and I think Matt Bohansky.
I think he was because he was doing sound.
He's like the
was
Zelig.
Matt
He just kind of
Bohansky.
shows up.
And then, like, there's a million people coming up to Joe. Like, everybody's coming up to him, wanting to shake his hand, get his autograph. I mean, within a half hour, he had a line out the door of people wanting to get his autograph. People are bringing in boxing gloves so he could sign them.
Right.
One lady comes in
Box.
with the big, gigantic poster of Fraser Ali 1
Nice.
from Madison Square Garden. Can you sign this? I've had it since 1971.
Oh, my God.
And he talked to every single person.
Yeah.
Then we're sitting there and then we're talking, and I said, "Joe, man, whatever happened to your band? You guys, I used to listen to you." He goes, "I'm putting my band back together." And I'm not trying to mock the way Fraser talks. That's how he talks, I put my band back together. I said, "Yeah, well, what about us? I mean, we could be your band." "You got the job."
White smoke. Right?
White smoke.
White smoke.
Yes.
Real quick, when you said about, here me and Dennis are there, we're in his entourage. It might have been a year, maybe 2 years later. We went to his daughter, Jackie, was fighting
Yeah.
down in Delaware.
Yeah.
Remember? I forget the name of
Carbine was with us.
Yeah, we went. What was the name of the big? It's a big
Big
club down in.
Kahuna or something.
Yeah, the Kahuna
Okay,
or something like
sounds
that.
right.
So there's me and Dennis. We're back in the locker room. With, Joe's getting his daughter Jackie prepped. He's like she's. She's sparring, and we're just standing there, we're there standing there with Love and we're talking. So then it comes time for the fight. And you know how a fight, they have like smoke and mist and they come out of the thing. And so you hear the music, the big announcement, Jackie Fraser. And here they come walking out, and here comes me and Dennis walking up. We walk up, sit right down by the ring. It was the best. It was so funny.
Oh, my God.
He always wanted a few other times, like we did those Washington things or other Fraser gigs. Me and Gabby always stayed, and we'd go up to, his suite that he had, and we'd hang out with him and Love. He always wanted us to stay for the fights the next day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
'Cause we would do the night before.
Night of the party the night before, yeah.
And he would always want us to stay. "Nah, you guys are going to sit ringside seat. I'm going to get you some girls." And he'd pull out his black book and start
my
going,
God.
"I'm going to get you a date for tomorrow." I'm like, "Gabby's married." Leanne would love to see that on TV.
Yeah. You're sitting ringside.
Yeah.
Always remember not to get too far into Fraser. We were playing one of those night before parties, and he was singing. I think it was Mustang Sally, and there was a girl dancing in front of him, and she's going down close to the floor, and he's going down with her. And they both get down on the floor, and she gets up and dances away, and he's like, "Cheek!" And he's trying to look cool, but he can't get up.
He had to pick him
But
up.
now I sympathize with him because I'd be the
Right,
same.
right.
Yeah, really. I
But
can't.
it's cheek.
You might have to help me get up off this chair, Dr. Ed.
But anyway, well,
All right, moving on.
yeah, well, we could try this. Chico's Vibe, the Netflix series, the best of the 23s. Chico's Vibe played there probably from 2002 to 2013, I would think.
Yeah.
Because we played there before that with Hoey.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a fair amount of memorable times
yes.
there. Fair amount of
Very
times
memorable.
sometimes maybe I don't remember because we got really drunk there. But I was wondering if you guys had.
Well, my favorite's the tambourine player. Yeah. He loves that stuff.
Wait, who's the tambourine player? That's not your dancer.
No, that's
right?
different.
No,
That's another one.
This was one of the gigs. This guy was standing down front, and he's just staring at Dennis the whole time. And we did our first set. We finished, and that's when we used to go upstairs, and they would have like a little food spread,
Nice size
which
break
got
room.
smaller and
Yeah, it
smaller.
kept getting
over
smaller.
every year.
So we're up in the room, and we're just all sitting around talking, and this dude comes up, wants to talk to Dennis. And he says, I'm a tambourine player. I'm a percussionist. And I'd love, I got my tambourine. I'd love to get up and play, with you next set. Dennis is like, yeah, we'll get you, no problem, So then next set comes on and we're playing, and he's right down front. He's got his foot up, like propped up on the front of the stage. Got his tambourine, and he's doing it, going. And Dennis isn't really paying attention. I'm laughing my ass off. And all of a sudden, Dennis looks down at him like, whatever song it was, it might have worked, and he's like, yeah, come on up. Like gives him the nod, like, come on up. The guy gets up. It's super excited, gets up on stage. He hits about 3 things, and the bouncer goes, boom, grabs him off. He's done. He hit his tambourine about maybe 3 times. And it was like, oh, my God, that was the best.
They would never let
Guys on the stage.
No,
They would,
Well, that's the first time I ever saw a human being picked up by his head. Yeah, because it was 23 East. It wasn't the tambourine, but it was the same venue. And when you're in the horn section, we're right at this wall, and on the other side of the wall are tables.
Yes, you could
and
hop
you're,
over the
and you're
wall to
eye
get on the
level.
stage.
Yeah, you're basically eye level
and
with.
we might have asked
people.
girls to come over.
Yeah. So this guy, it's back. This guy's going like, can I come on? Can I come on? And then we're like looking at him, and he goes, "It's my birthday," and Matt goes, "Come on over." He starts to come over the wall, and a hand goes like this on his face, almost like his nostrils were like the holes of a bowling ball. And I saw the body go, like he lifted the guy by his face, and I just was like, so I never saw anything like that before.
And you had to remember too, like for the people listening, like we're playing. So the music hasn't stopped while this is going on.
It's all,
We're just
all this
continue
is
playing.
going on while we're playing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
They had some big, beefy bouncers.
They
there.
did.
Oh yeah.
Big Bubba.
Yeah.
Wasn't he
Bubba
like-
Nangle.
With the bouncers, it was almost like, and we would get this packed crowd.
Yeah.
It was almost like watching, like the white blood cells remove the bad virus. You would see it, like the thing move through the crowd.
That's a good description.
Yeah, my personal favorite was Sam, Big Sam.
Oh yes, yeah, I
He's a
forgot
great
that.
guy. I see him every now and then. Me and Doc play at these Lower Merion administration parties. He's always there. I said, "You here to take care of me, right?" He's here for me.
One dumb memory I have is, and I don't remember the sax player's name, but it was a sub sax player.
I know you're talking about
And
Wendell.
Wendell, okay.
Wendell Hobbs.
You probably tell us.
Howie.
Yes.
That was Howie.
That was
That was a
Howie?
Howie day.
Oh, damn. I thought it was Chico's Vibe.
Yeah.
But we played the first set, right? And then
Yeah, he didn't
Oh.
even play yet. He was subbing in for Joe Smith on the first set because Joe was still playing with the Pops.
Okay.
And was coming later. But he got there, and it was a happy hour, and all you heard was like, it was super loud dance music, And Vic, we're up in the room, and he says to Vic, like, is it like going to be loud like this? And Vic's like, well, I mean, when we start playing, it's not as loud, but I mean, it's a loud place. He's like, maybe I should get earplugs. He says, it probably would help. So he goes, I'm going to go get my earplugs, and never came back. He left. Vic tried to call him, and all of a sudden his phone was off.
Good move, Wendell.
Going back to when we played there with Howie, My worst nightmare on every single gig was place would be packed. Happy hour, because all the Villanova kids would be down there for happy hour from like 5 to 9, and then we'd go on, or 5 to 10, whatever.
Yeah.
And we would go on. So they would have a DJ packed, pumping music, you know. So then we're upstairs, and now, all right, we got to go down. We're getting ready to play. So we're getting up on stage, and the DJ's like, you guys good to go? And we're like, yeah, that's ready to go. And he's, it's like,
the music's playing.
And he's like, all right, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the John Hoey Orchestra. Do 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 do. And I'd be like, oh God. Slowly I would just and I would bury myself behind the piano, like, oh my God. Because people would be like, ah!
And we would do
and then it would be dead silence.
Little brown jug.
Yeah.
Oh
my God.
So I have to say, I don't want to say her name, but 23 East.
Yeah, because we like
at
talked
that
about. We
time,
said
Colin was not a toddler, but he was little, and we belonged to this kid gym that was every Saturday morning. So we'd go and and it'd have this thing called circle time, and it was the person that was in the head of that class. I don't want to say her name because she might still work there. She would always be like, would do circle time and does all this dancing like it's time to clean up, and all real bubbly. And I would dance and like do these moves, and she's like, "Are you a dancer or something?" And I said, "No, I play in a band." "Oh, really? Like what time?" "This is on the side." And I said, "Oh, we're playing at 23 East this weekend." And she's like, "Oh, maybe me and my husband can go." And so she comes with her husband and is like out in the front the whole first set and did dancing and singing all the lyrics and going, and you're like, "Who's that?" I'm like, that's a teacher at the such and such. And what I didn't know, she was hitting Jägermeisters and doing all these shots at the bar and all this kind of stuff. And then I saw her, somebody gave her a tambourine and she's on stage and she's doing these high kicks. Oh, yeah. And she's going, kick. And Matt goes,
and she was really good.
She was good.
Yeah.
Matt goes, "I don't know who she is, but she's got like 10 seconds to get off the stage," or something like that. So the bouncer tells her she has to get off the stage. Okay. She goes over that wall, the same wall where I saw a guy get picked up by his head. "We're playing some more." Bass player taps on my shoulder. He goes, "Yo, something's wrong with your friend back there." I turn like Tammy Faye Baker. All the mascara and all the eyeliner and everything. It's just down like the Crow. You ever see that guy, the Crow? It's going down her face. And I'm like, And what had happened was Matt let Krista on the stage, and Krista was kind of like hugging him, and he was playing. Yeah. And she goes,
"Oh my God,
she's allowed on stage." And I'm like, you got to calm down. You got it's like, and then her husband comes over, and then the bouncer takes him and escorts the two of them out.
Oh, I know that part.
Yeah, and then the crowd started going, "Cry baby, go home," or started yelling, "Cry baby, go home! Cry baby, go home!"
Oh.
And then the following weekend, there's class. I got mine, and she goes, "I'm really sorry." Was anyone hurt? No, I was like, no.
She was a nice person.
She was very nice. Yeah.
Matt's worried about his lips going to get kicked off.
Yeah.
See this? This is my career.
23 East is where John Henry fell asleep on your keyboards, right? Isn't that?
She would do it a bunch of times. Oh, his hand would be
the greatest thing.
That was during Scenes from an Italian Restaurant too. I'm playing, I have my eyes closing, and I feel, as I'm going across the keys, I feel this hand. And I look down, and, the stage was a good, 2-3 feet off the ground. Yeah. He's leaning on the piano with his hands from the opposite side, and he's passed out. Yeah. And I'm going, John! Nothing. Not moving. I'm moving his hand out of the way.
Oh, John Henry.
Yeah, John was a great fan, but he would come in front of Ed and me, and we'd want, there's all kinds of 23-year-old women, and then John Henry. So we'd be like, "John, Gabby wants to see you. Why don't you go down to
sons of
And he would look at us like, okay.
Oh man.
I used to love it. I'd walk into the gig, and he would always be there with a Chico's Vibe shirt
Sure,
on.
yeah.
Hey, Chico. Oh, man, Chico's Vibe. Chico's Vibe. Man, John, the manager there early on was this guy named Dan Stango. You worked with his
yeah.
mom.
God, yeah.
Yeah, we played his wedding.
We played his wedding.
Yeah.
Christine.
He's the one that got us to play down at the place, the Lagoon place. What was it called?
Oh yeah.
There he moved and managed that place
Yes.
for a while.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the connection right there, Stango.
All right, that gets us. That's another Chico's Vibe Netflix series episode.
Oh,
That
yeah.
might be three or four.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking we got a Bahamas episode.
Oh yeah.
Maybe a cruise ship episode. We got material for many more podcasts.
Decades.
Yes. We just have to survive.
Yes.
For that.
Who's going to play me in the Chico's Vibe Netflix?
Who do you want? Wait, save that. That's the next.
good.
All right.
Yes.
Who
I
plays
think
who?
the Rock for sure.
Because you have to kill the photographers. He just comes right behind. A lot of neck snapping.
The Rock works for us.
Can you smell what the Chico is cooking?
And you smell.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah. Next podcast we'll do Chico's
Yeah,
Vibe, the
that's
casting.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, the casting. There you go.
All right. So this gets us to songs from the set list, where we talk about what I call an iconic Chico's Vibe song that we play fairly frequently, that our audiences know and like.
Yeah, I sing it.
This is actually a song I think we all like,
Yeah.
right? Dennis?
I hated it at first, but now I like it.
Oh yeah.
I told these guys.
Man, I did some research.
You're going to work.
Your vocal harmony part is on the album is sang by Timothy B. Schmidt.
Yeah, the bass player.
Plays for, yeah,
the Eagles,
Plays
right?
for the Eagles, yeah. But I thought maybe you would appreciate that next
Yeah,
time.
it's great.
Anyway.
What position did he play? Was it like the football team?
Yeah. This week's song from the set list is Africa by the band Toto.
Hear the drums echoing tonight.
All right, good. I'm
Yeah.
staying out. It's a good song. People like
Africa?
You know, do you always have to speak?
talking to me. I can stop speaking on the gigs. You got to
Best
take
part is,
over that spot.
We should do a live video podcast so people can see his hair.
What's wrong with my
You're getting into like physicist territory.
Yeah.
It's the theory
Like
of
that
relativity.
Einstein picture.
I
where
just
he's like-
watched the series on Einstein.
Theory of
It's
relativity.
fucking great.
All right, we'll get to
He
this.
was a smart guy.
Africa was off Toto's album called Toto 4.
Toto 4, yeah.
It was released as a single in October 1982. It went to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100. It was Toto's biggest
Never
hit.
knew that.
Yeah. To try to give it some context, as you guys know, I like to look at the top 100 for the year to see, what was going on at the time. Even though it was released October 1982, it placed on the top 100.
It came out in 82?
Yeah.
Wow.
But it placed on the Billboard 100 for the year 1983. So it was number 24 for 1983. The top 5 for 1983, we do some of them. Number 1, we have done.
Smoke on the water?
Is every breath you take on that list?
Yes, it's number 1.
That
Ed.
Ed
That's
knows his
83.
shit.
Woo! Number 2 was Billie Jean. Number 3 was Flashdance. What a feeling.
Michael
boy.
Sabello?
No.
No,
What's
we're get- we're-
Flashdance?
No.
Oh. That's Mania.
Number 9 for 1983 was Maniac by Michael
you go.
Sabello, friend of Dennis Cicchino. Number 4 was number 4. It was I think a Keep It last week. It was
Where was the what?
and on Love It, Keep It, Trash It.
It was a keep it.
Number 4 was a Keep It from last week.
Midnight Special?
Oh jeez.
Just say it.
Land Down Under.
Laying down
that
under.
worked.
Okay.
Number 5 was Beat It. Number 6, Chico and Gibby have been known to do Total Eclipse of the Heart.
Yes, we have been on the
Yes.
And number 13 was Come On Eileen, to throw that in there. Song was written by Toto members David Page, who sings the vocals on the verse, and Jeff Porcaro, who does the drum riff on there. A guy named Bobby Kimball sings the chorus.
Return of the Jedi came out that year also. 1980.
Great guitar player in Toto. What's the guitar player's name in Toto?
Steve
'Cause he's
Lukather.
Smoking good.
Steve Lukather,
Yeah, they're all great musicians.
Yeah.
They were all studio musicians.
Yes. Toto 4 also included Rosanna and I Won't Hold You Back. The song had a resurgence in popularity over the last 10 years, due in large part to Chico's vibe.
Yeah.
I agree.
And also, band Weezer covered the song in 2017. It's been used in a bunch of TV episodes. There's also a really cool choral video of the song on YouTube, if you've ever seen it, where the choir kind of they start doing like rain sounds.
Oh, yes.
Really?
I've seen that.
Yeah,
it's
really
pretty
neat.
cool. Yeah.
But the song's become very popular. I did watch a video. There's a guy, I don't know if he's called like the Doctor of Rock or something. He does YouTube videos. He did a history of the song Africa, and there weren't any good facts in the 13-minute video. So you can watch it for yourself. So then it comes to Chico's vibe.
Yeah.
When and why did we start doing this song? I don't remember.
I can say I wanted to do it.
There you go.
And I just thought, let's try it.
And it worked from the beginning.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
I was really mad that it worked right away.
You were?
Oh, totally, because I didn't like it at first, and I'm like, this song ain't going to work, and then it worked right away. And
I know it.
Damn it!
I know what got you when it gets to the chorus, and all these young kids start counting.
Yeah. I just noticed, like, wow, man, everybody knows this.
this
They all love it. They sing it. And I said, all right, maybe I'll start liking it.
What made you decide to write that riff in the trumpets?
Well, during the verse, there's those pad chords underneath.
Yes.
And there was no way in the world that I was going to be able to do that just with one keyboard. And I thought, why not see if I can write something in with the horns?
Yes.
And I apologize because of the key. It's a very... it's all sharps and flats.
I mean, you guys play it great.
Yeah, it's a fun thing to play. Well, the nice thing is Tony and I play the same parts all the time. Like, because like when Nick was in the band, we used to switch a lot, so I never really got used to like one part of it.
Right.
And like when Matt's on the gig, Matt only plays the one part. Like so he'll be like, "This is the part that I play, and you're playing the other part." And I'm like, sounds
like Matt.
So I think I play the part Matt usually plays, unless he's on the gig, and then I have to play Tony's part. But I know both parts pretty well. But once you get it down, it's not. I mean, the hardest part is like the. That part where the triplet is, that's the hardest spot. Yeah. But it's fun to play.
Yeah, it took me a little bit, but I kind of did it on the piano and then wrote it into Finale.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you watch, this is me like bragging about Chico's vibe, but if you watch videos of Toto live doing the song, I think we do it better. I seriously do.
That's because we have to do it better. We got to do a great version of every song we play.
Right, or else it's just...
Those guys have already made a hit out of it. They already made their millions, and, they go out. They want to let it sound good, of course.
Right.
But they don't have to, do all the nitty-gritty stuff like we have to do.
Yeah. One thing in this song is, it gets to the chorus, and I do the gonna take a lot there, and then it comes in under it, and then...
I do.
Oh, sorry. And
then,
then I bless the rain down. And the last time we do it, it's 5. We count 5 times.
Yeah.
And with each finger going up, it's like, I'm not going to make it. And meanwhile, he's doing the,
That's the way. That song, what's the other one? Sing a Song?
Yes.
Sing a song. By the end, my stomach's like, no, I can't do even one more.
Oh, man. But that's a great song. My girlfriend Kelly told me this story. She came to see us at the park near Chesterbrook.
Wilson Farm
Park. And she's coming up from the parking lot over the crest, and she hears Africa playing, and she's like, that's weird that the band hasn't started yet. 'Cause she thought that the sound system was them
blasting
playing
out
the
the
original
recording.
song of Africa. And then she came over the crest. She's like, oh my God, they sound so great. I mean, that's how good we can sound with
Seriously.
that song.
Awesome.
Seriously. we try to attain that on, everything. We can't get close to everything, but like we try to acquire that same reaction in everybody.
Every song, yeah. So that gets us through this month's song from the set list, Africa. Yay.
Yeah.
All right.
So now we have to pick
Who picked Africa?
Brian Farr.
Yeah,
Farr.
good choice, Brian.
Oh,
It was when he was glitching out. He's like, I
That came out of nowhere. I thought that was going another direction.
Africa.
we did the Max Headroom blast.
Far. I played drums.
As is our custom, we have to pick next month's song from the set list.
Oh, boy.
And I believe, if tracing back, I think you picked Love Shack.
Yeah, I did.
And then Brian picked Africa, which I think means it's Gabby's turn to pick.
Oh, boy.
Let me
Unless you don't
guess.
want to pick, and we can
I guess
let
it
Dr.
first?
Ed-
to Ed Jakuboski
We can let Dr. Ed pick. So that it has to be a song
that
that we
currently
play a fair amount.
Yeah.
You can't pick
How about,
something deep.
how about some Chicago, like
Good.
25 or 6-4?
Oh, not that one.
No? I actually like playing that song.
I think we did
Do
that
you?
one.
All right, wait. If,
Yes.
Did you do that
Yes,
already?
we can.
Oh, man.
Yes, we'll go 25-64.
yeah.
Okay.
Is that what you want?
I mean,
Yeah.
All right. You got it.
So let's do it a second time, and then you act like you like it.
How about 25 or 6-4?
I forget it. I love 25-64, which I do.
I could have said boogie shoes.
And what I love
Then we
is
could discuss
I love
the
Jerome's
intense
turn-
arrangement, right?
Jerome's turning to Matt and go, really? You wrote that each time?
All right. So to close out,
Yeah.
name a song that you would like us to do that we don't do right now.
Have you seen the little pig? No, don't worry.
Piggies?
I love that, but that's not my choice. Who's first?
You're always first.
All right. I had one that I was going to say, but since he mentioned Herb Albert earlier, what are you laughing at? And this could be considered.
You don't need to try him as an excuse to name what you were going to name.
No,
anyway.
it just flipped my mind right to this song, and it also brings in the Beatles. I'd like to do A Taste of Honey, the Herb Albert style,
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good one.
with that ba-da.
This is becoming a Herb Albert tribute podcast.
Well, that's a first set tune, but I remember watching, I think it was a Netflix special on The Wrecking Crew.
yes.
The band that did all the backing for all those songs.
Yes,
and
it's a great show.
the drummer was saying, we came to that part and there was nothing there. It was like a hole in the middle of the song for, 4 bars or whatever it is. And he says, so, one time I just hit the bass drum, boom, 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 boom. And it became like the part of the whole song.
Yeah.
So we're doing it. That's my song.
Yes.
I want to say my other one.
Sure.
Okay. My other one is,
This is your third one.
wait a minute, what was my second?
Piggies?
Now, Piggies was a joke. Do you know Harrison sang Piggies?
Yes, he wrote it.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. I had to ask the judge like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yes, he wrote the song.
Yo, guys, it's Friday. Just check.
Oh, shit.
Listen, my second song is No Sugar Tonight by the Guess Who.
Oh, great song. Great song.
Of course it is.
We got Yes, John
Me?
Gephardt.
Me and
I
Gabby
just-
did it once before.
Oh, for Christ's sake. All right, I just watched this whole series on Disney Plus, but Get Back.
Oh, yeah. That'd be a great song.
Yeah.
Picked that last month.
I
he
did not.
didn't.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Get Back to Beatles. Did we pick that song?
No, he didn't pick that last
I can't believe it hasn't
Hey,
been.
folks, I just want to say thanks a lot so much for these podcasts because I'm not coming back to do any more. Thank you.
You know why I love it? Because McCartney plays the little fills in the solo. Not McCartney. Lennon plays the fills. In
Oh,
the
he
solo.
does play that. Yeah.
Yes.
Ed Mount.
I want to do Neil Diamond. Everywhere around the world.
America.
Coming
to America.
Ba, 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 ba. I think we should begin a concert with that.
Oh my God.
God.
Because the announcements are always bad. Like Chico's Vibe is a rockin' horn dancing section that does songs from the Black Eyed Peas.
Peace,
all the way.
yes!
Like I would love to have a pre-recorded thing so that George can mess it up. It's just one button he's got to push. And then that whole strings in the beginning.
Ed gets like the personality.
Yes,
I mean, he's so good at that.
So you get the you have that string thing in the beginning just playing, and you have an announcement, ladies and gentlemen, 2, 3,
Yeah.
welcome to America. That's my pick.
Ed Jakuboski. What song?
man.
Today.
I don't think any songs I would mention it we would actually want to do.
Well, that's okay.
But-
That's the whole point.
okay.
That's the whole point.
Well, you know what I was listening to
That's
this
the
week?
whole point of this.
And some stuff that I'm kind of always drawn to is some of that crazy horn stuff that's in like 80s Phil Collins music.
Yes.
Right? And have you ever heard Saturday
Going
Night?
right up my alley.
Have you ever heard Saturday Night and Sunday Morning?
No.
It's a little instrumental thing. Like look it up. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like it's like stupid, but it's like a little horn interlude.
good.
But there's so much great horn stuff that he wrote,
yeah.
like on all that stuff.
Is that the one?
The Hot Tub Club and
the
Phoenix horns.
Yeah.
And it gets like slower.
Right, it has like a quicker opening, and then it goes into like a little. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm going to throw in a trumpet feature song, but it's very quirky, and I think either Dennis or Ed could sing it. It's called "Short Skirt, Long Jacket." Have you ever heard?
Sport coat.
Yeah.
How's it go?
Weren't we talking
I
about?
want a
Weren't
girl
weren't you
with-
We
mentioning
were
when you
talking
wanted to-
about this a while back.
Wasn't that Cake?
Cake, yes.
Cake. Yes, that is.
But it's got a cool little trumpet
Yep,
thing.
yep.
Yeah.
And I think might work.
I like their
Might
other
not.
one too. He's going the distance.
Yeah.
He's running for speed.
Yeah.
So that.
Wait, we got to do our closing
Well,
song.
we have to do. Do you want to pick up the trumpet? We'll sing along with you. Or?
How's
what am
it
I doing?
going?
What are we doing?
We're doing this Spring from Vivaldi.
Oh.
It's the Chico's Vibe Podcast with Dennis and all his friends. It's time for the Chico's Podcast. It's time for the Chico's Podcast. The podcast with Chico and his friends.
All right. Now that Ed knows it, take it from the top.
You really want to do it again?
2, 3, 4.
What it was, I didn't
Two
come in
tree.
till the end. That was it.
Sinbad O'Connor, two tree.
I just from that part. Da.
Yeah, just
From the
that
end
part.
part?
Yeah, just that part. It's time for the CV
Sorry.
2, 3.
podcast. It's end of the CV podcast. The podcast with Chico and all his friends.
There you go.
Yeah.
That ends episode 8. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Mac Kelly once again.
We're in the middle of a podcast.
Matt, can you put that at the end?